name's Ari, and I'm a junior political science major at Temple University. I led 2023 Free Migration Project's Abolitionist curriculum on feminism, queer, and anti-racist abolition, and I'm here with a recap. Abolition is the idea that systems of oppression and authority should be dismantled. So that ranges from everything from borders to policing to prisons, basically trying to get rid of these systems that are being very oppressive towards people and marginalizing people through like blockage. And so it's very interesting to kind of see where people's experiences are and how people experience the systems of oppression differently. I think that it's really important to look through an abolitionist perspective using the lens of feminism, queerness, anti-racism, because I think many people don't associate the three with one another. And so looking at abolition through this position, I think people have a certain thing that they think about, like prison abolition, police abolition, definitely has a different connotation necessarily, where you don't think about certain marginalized groups. And that certainly hasn't changed, and the system doesn't really handle differences well. Differences in experience, differences in labels. And so I think it's really important to look at the people who are being affected by this the most, but that is not taken and accounted for by the system. So if we're taking a look at kind of the readings that we did for my section, one of my favorites was an article called Navigating Justice for Sexual Abuse Survivors When You're a Prison Abolitionist and a Survivor. So that was one of the main articles that we read. And I think that a lot of the articles show different questions that come up when you're talking about abolition, especially when we're talking about victims of sexual abuse, or different forms of marginalization. And a lot of the articles that we read answer these questions, and try and put community first. So having a sense of accountability for people within a community instead of state action and perpetuating violence of the state. That means, physical violence or lack of resource as a form of violence. So answering questions like that, how can we as a community step in and make people accountable for doing bad things, without it becoming a system that perpetuates violence? So learning, discussing, educating ourselves on these topics through the lens of abolition, advance Black or Latino movements through exposing yourself to different perspectives and learning about different movements that can help, especially with abolition not necessarily being a new topic, but something that people don't necessarily understand as a full movement, or what the after effects of abolishing these systems are, especially because Black and Latino people are definitely affected in the vast majority.